Downfall. Alright, so everyone keeps seeming to think that I have this really hardcore bias for paleo and keto. I'm sorry, words are hard because I'm frustrated. And that somehow mind over matter just makes this whole thing true. That I was able to go suicidal and want to plunge a knife into me because I'm just so biased that I wanted that in the first place. You know what people don't want in life? Social anxiety and ADHD and depression. Those things suck so hard. Does it have to be bleeped if it's you just mouth it? I don't even know if that's the thing. But I never asked for those things. I never wanted them. They're so incredibly horrifying. On the nights that I had it, that I was able to provoke myself into it, I still didn't want it. To not be able to stop thinking about a knife and wanting to plunge it into your heart, to hear voices that you've never heard before. You connect to it. Your mind is literally connecting to it. It makes so much sense. It just does. Whenever you poison your mind, because that's what a lot of the fast food has in it, is poison, literal poison that's not meant to be injected. And your body's like, holy fuck, I don't want this inside me. Oh, my necklace fell off, that's sad. Okay, but it's like, your body doesn't want it. Your body signals, hey, this is freaking poison. If it was enough poison, you would die. If people are actually dying from this, everybody would probably stop. But your minds are being poisoned, and people are in denial of this. They're in so much denial of this, because we're not supposed to talk about the fact that we're depressed or suicidal, no matter how true it is. And that is so stupid. And God, on Instagram, every second I would refresh the feed, and this teenager is suicidal, and they're asking why, and they're asking for hope, and they don't understand what's happening to their bodies. Every second. It gets better during the day, because at night it's worse. Maybe kids just have more of their phones, or it's like a physical injury. You know, whenever your ankle is broken, or it's sprained, or you have a paper cut, it's worse at night. It's an injury. It literally is, and every time I cheat, it will come back. And I don't want it. I become so existential and trapped. I get trapped in those connections to where I almost can't get out. No matter how aware of them I am, I want to die again. Or I have social anxiety, I don't want to see people, and all I want is to not feel that. And I try so hard and I can't. I try to connect out of it, but it is nearly impossible. Sometimes you can. And I think that's how people get over suicide, is connecting to that moment where everything was okay. Because it all has to do with connections. It really does. Whenever I'm completely in paleo, with no cheating, all organic, and eating raw vegetables, and mostly vegetables, I hope meat's not a factor because I love meat, but on the one where I was just basically vegetarian, eating raw and organic, I couldn't trigger suicide. I would try really hard with the exact same thoughts, and just it wouldn't connect. It makes perfect sense. It's not a bias. It's your mind literally not connecting to it. I would just be, like, happy. I would imagine, and I do it every single day. Every single day I try to imagine a knife plunging into me, a knife plunging into my friends. And it just happens when I have, like, poisonous foods, or eat out. And the stuff in there, like, they're already proving through science, doesn't go with the human body. That whenever you eat it, it does stuff to you. It messes with your gut flora. Your gut flora, okay, so in your gut, there's these little things that help you with memory. Your gut, I don't know how exactly it works, but your gut flora really helps with your memory, and I can remember things now. I've never been able to before. And maybe it would make more sense to this be mind over matter if I'd wanted that stuff in the first place. If I just woke up as a baby one day and was like, wow, I really want depression, social anxiety, suicide, ADHD, OCD, I really want those things to happen to me, this would make more sense. But I never wanted them. They naturally occur. I naturally wanted to kill myself. It's not really your fault. You don't hire or think, wow, I really want to die today. It doesn't make any sense. So why does the opposite suddenly have to become bias? When I can't trigger it anymore. I'm saying this is just, I have nothing to lose here but being suicidal. Before I started this experiment, the idea of dying was a wonderful thing. I wanted to so badly. I didn't want to live. I never connected to my body. I disconnected. A disconnect is where you just no longer connect to this earth. And I wasn't able to connect. And I think it's because I was eating the wrong food. I would have sugar cubes dipped in icing with Sour Patch Kids, and when that didn't work, I had energy drinks. And then I put the Sour Patch Kids in the energy drinks. I was addicted. I was on highs. I was on a fucking drug. Sugar is a drug, and it made me not want to exist anymore, or just, it made it to where my connections weren't firing into life. I would like think of space and, you know, being far away and hope that it was like magical, and that's all that this really was. Is just completely existential magic. Like, I don't belong on this earth. But now that I'm actually able to connect to life more, that I can touch something and truly feel it, I want to live inside of a human body. And it's just never happened before. It's like I have the right things in me to connect, and I love nature more, just naturally. Like, I watch ants and stare at leaves and play with animals. And I don't want to harm other humans. Well, there's this weird thing now, where if someone is really obese, and I don't like this just like happened, but it makes it very kind of primal. When someone's either like obese or really unhealthy, I naturally get frustrated at them being within my area, or being near me at all. Like, I kind of want to get rid of them from the food chain, and that makes primal sense. Like, it's evolution. I mean, we're creatures that evolved, like the highest of the food chain. That took a lot of work. It took adaptation. It took fucking incredibleness. And so now we've hit a plateau, and we don't know where to evolve anymore, and so we're getting, like, fat and lazy and stupid, and it makes sense, but... Also, I cheated, like, 2 days ago, and I had a lot of popcorn, and I just had, like, Parmesan cheese, and this happened. Every single time I think, like, I get social anxiety and depression, I don't even know why, because I just had, like, 2 kernels of popcorn, or just one little bite of something, and I don't even think that it's gonna happen. My bias is in the opposite direction. Then my face breaks out. I'll have social anxiety and depression and think I'm just doomed to these thoughts and it must all be in my head, and then I'll feel my face and there's a pimple. There's one right here. Yeah, and then this. Your body, and okay, unless you're saying that my mind is so strong over my matter that I could create pimples. Sure, let's go with... Actually, this leaf is really pretty. Like, do you see this leaf, like the cracks in it? It's gorgeous. I've always loved leaves. And the veins of them, they have literal veins. I always describe them as solid water, because it feels like you're holding water that